Hello, glorious children of God. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Thanks so much for joining in. So, any spiritual path ultimately is going to require that we let go of our old ideas. Not any, but especially a non-dual spiritual path, or a spiritual path that's leading us towards liberation. We're going to need to be willing to question everything. Because in the end, it's our untrue beliefs that keep us bound. So there's this willingness to have an open mind and to question things and to temporarily put aside, what we thought of as true. And this is very true with A Course in Miracles, which will say things like, "You are at peace always," or "Love is your natural inheritance. Love is your nature," or "Everything you see is a projection of your mind," or one of my favorite quotes from the Course, "You can heal the sick and raise the dead because you created sickness and death." Whoa, that we can work miracles. So unless we have an open mind, the ego will just swat each one of those aside. I'm at peace always? No, I'm not. My nature is love? No, it isn't. This is all a projection of my mind. Boom. That's crazy. I can work miracles? No way. If we just swat aside new ideas, then we just get to keep the old ones. So, I had a really funny experience today. So, just a little background in terms of openness of mind, because I've been getting really open with the Course. I've argued for a long time that everything I see around me is just a projection of my mind. When I say I've been arguing with that idea for over 20 years, I'm finally starting to recognize and experience the truth of it. So my mind's pretty open right now. And a couple of weeks ago, I traveled to New Zealand. Um, and, I had the very strange experience of talking to a friend on the phone. And, for me, it would be like, let's see, how does the time conversion go? Like, it would be like, 12, uh, that's it. It would be 9 a.m. in the morning for me in New Zealand, and my friend in California, it would be noon. It was also kind of funny because I crossed the date line, so it would be like 9 a.m. Tuesday morning, and it would be 12 p.m. Monday afternoon for them. And so, we joked about it a little bit and like, "Oh, how can this be?" And like, "Oh, maybe everything is a dream. This is so trippy." And then I really got to thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm halfway around the world. How can it be? How can it only be 3 hours difference? How can it, not 8 a.m. in the morning is 11 a.m. in the morning for me. Like, that's impossible. I've literally, California to New Zealand, it was 12 plus hours. I'm literally halfway around the world. Oh my God, maybe these flat earth people are right. But I was just kind of like, whatever. But just today, I was out driving, and it really started to bug me. I'm like, how is that possible? How can I be halfway around the world and it be morning there and morning on the other half of the world? And I was visioning it. I was like, you know, here I am in New Zealand, and here this person is in California, and here's the sun, here's California, and it's morning, and here I am on the other side of the globe, and it's New Zealand, and it's morning. I'm like, that can't be right. Oh my God, maybe the flat earthers are right, and for like, I don't know, 20 minutes, I was just tripping out. like maybe everything I know is wrong. Because right, our whole sense of life on this earth is like that it's a globe. Like that's just this fundamental idea that we never question. We've just been raised. It's just, you know, I've taken physics, I took some astronomy classes, and so I even know some of the science behind, you know, the facts. And so just for this about 20 minutes, I was just in the state of, oh my God, maybe everything I know is wrong, or everything I thought was true. And so it was really beautiful. And what it really brought home to me, and I'll complete that experience in a moment, is that that's what we need for a spiritual path. Now, we don't have to hop on and be like, become believers, like, oh, the earth is flat. No, what we need to do is question everything. Question everything. And that's actually what the Course says. Not so much question whether the earth is flat or round, but everything that we value needs to be put up for question. And all of our assumptions about reality, we need to be open to questioning them. For example, that all of this is a projection of mind, and that this is it's more like a dream than it isn't. The Course is not the first non-dual teaching to speak that. It's actually a very ancient idea that's been around for a couple thousand years that we have records of, if not earlier. So what's needed is that level of openness of like, oh my God, maybe the earth is flat. Now, I'm not saying like go spend time and do a bunch of research on that. I don't think that's maybe the best use of time. But that level of openness is really can take us a long way. Just the willingness to question. So I finally opened up good old fashioned Google and took a look. And actually, I did travel 12 hours, which could put me halfway around the world, but it didn't. California to New Zealand is like primarily a moving southern journey. Now, if I'd traveled 12 hours east or west, and in my new destination it was morning, and in California it was morning, that would be a problem for the round Earth model. But of course, it fits completely naturally because I didn't travel around the world, I traveled down. So our ideas about the Earth being round are still safe. And in a sense, that's not so important. But what is important is to question and be open to questioning our ideas about God, our ideas about what we are, and our ideas about the world. Those are really the three fundamental ideas that we base everything on: our sense of self, our ideas about God, and our ideas about life, or about the world, what the world is, what life is. And so that just openness, not, many people get into the Course and they kind of turn it into a religion. Oh, none of this is real. They preach it and they talk it and they push it. They push it on them. They push it on others because they've pushed it on themselves. That's not really the way either. I mean, that's a way, but that's not quite what the Course asks us. The Course asks us to inquire and investigate and to be open, to open ourselves and to be open. To find out and to be willing to look at our deepest held assumptions. So I wish you much openness of mind And I wish you happy trails on this very round, spherical earth, or so it seems.